And awesome. Hi, Craig. Nice to see you.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Not too bad.
Awesome to see some people that I already saw before. It's beautiful. It's nice to have you here. And I love that you turn on your cameras. That's great. And I would love to keep it that way if you can, all of you guys. And I know I can see some of the screens are off, but why I would love that to have actually all your faces here, because what will be really helpful when we are setting up the breakout room, actually the person in your breakout room is not alone. That means actually doesn't have bad experience from the session. I really want to be sure that everyone has good experience, everyone has a chance to connect, everyone has a chance to maybe network and learn. And definitely it will be helpful to have at least your audio. That means I would love to see Peter. Thank you very much for turning your camera on. That's awesome. Beautiful. Hi. Eva. Oh, so nice. Hey, Mark. Beautiful. Eva, can I call you Eva or Eve? What do you prefer?
Oh, whatever. Doesn't make difference.
Beautiful.
Good morning from Slovakia.
Good morning. It's so beautiful to have Europe here. Awesome. I really want to welcome you. Like, I'm truly, truly excited to have you here. And before we jump into any content and session and talks and amazing stories, I would love to see, Nick, you still have your screen, your video off. I would love to see if you can turn it on. If not, please let me know if you are on audio at least. Cool. That means, Nick, I'm not sure, is that, I think there's another Nick. You are on. I can see you, definitely. That's great. Awesome. Okay, let's start and let's see if Danielo, I will probably ask you for help if Nick can. I'm sorry, don't have video on this one. Okay, that means please keep in mind, Danielo, when we will put people in the breakout room, that we are sure that no one is there with Nick, or Nick is joining 3 people. That means he can at least listen. Okay, Nick, that's fine. I understand sometimes, you know, the technology, it's happening. We can go with the flow. I just want to be sure that you are here. That means if you can stay at least in a chat, I can see your messages. It will be lovely if you can actually talk to us through the message. That means that way I know you're present, you're here. Oops, I can see more people coming. We have another Nick. I hope that's, let's see. Okay, guys, Dan, if you can put in a message, my message about the screen and the videos on, please just broadcast that in a message just to let people know, because I don't want to repeat myself for people that are already here. No, welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Danielo is here today helping us and helping to share what we need. He's part of the company and the big vision, and I'm so excited to have him on board. And yeah, he's absolute legend, absolute help, and I can't be more grateful to have you here. And I would love to probably just say a warm welcome to everyone, because it's such a beautiful start of the year, right? Like, we can be together here and learn and just really meet new people and share maybe stories and insights and some gratitudes and some deep things. So I'm not going into details straight away. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And my name is Alex Terry. Some of you already know me, and I already spoke to you. Some of you never met me before. I will spend next 90 minutes with you. I'm not going to in deeper stuff, because I think you can LinkedIn me or Google me. That means what I will just say that I love leadership, I love mindset, I love to talk about behavior, neuroscience, and how that can actually help us to become better people and better leaders, and being happy inside of us internally. We need to be happy. We need to be trusting ourselves and being confident to be able to lead people and lead ourselves, or being, you know, the great asset and value to our family or friends. That means that's all what I'm about, and I will go deeper into that today. Okay, expectations, I believe we already set it up. That means we will start to kick people out from the session who are not having their beautiful faces on the screen. And I would love you to really enjoy the present moment. These 90 minutes is for you. Everything what we are doing here. Thank you so much, iPhone. Love it. And it's beautiful to see you. And look, it's awesome to have people here to share insights and to be here as a support for each other, because sometimes it's hard for us, especially leaders and business owners, to share things that are maybe not that comfortable, or maybe we don't have the person that we can share that with. And I want you to find this place as some kind of oasis for that. We can share today, and we will go into that. It's something that we always try to create the best environment for people, no judgment, no, wrong questions. Everything is allowed here from perspective of personal growth. Please, someone turn your audio off, please, because I can hear some sound. And I will probably just say that, oh my God, there's so many people coming. I'm sorry, I just didn't expect that there will be people logging in so long, but I'm so grateful to have you here. That means let's dive into that. What is today about? Today is all about you. Next 90 minutes is all about you. It's all about your dreams. It's all about your growth. It's all about what you want to achieve.
Guys, can I just have a with the groceries, please? Tell me my sound isn't on.
Okay, I turn it off. It's all good. I mute you. All good. I love at least, look, apology accepted. Guys, jump in and learn. First of all, I would love to see who here has already some experience or deeper experience with personal growth or leadership. I don't know, maybe spiritual growth. Who here already has or dive into that? Okay, I can see a few people. Awesome. It doesn't matter if it's first time for you or if it's, second time, or if you already have experience. What is really important is that today we will go into understanding how or where we can start. When we feel stuck, when we feel tired, sometimes we feel exhausted, sometimes we don't know how to deal with other people. We can learn today how to understand ourselves on a deeper level and how to actually use it in our team environment. But most importantly, today is about personal growth. It's about you as a leader. It's about you as a person. It's about you as a parent. That means whatever you want to improve, I would like you to take that perspective with you. You don't need to learn everything, but really something that resonates with you. Now, before we start, as I said, I'm going to do breakout rooms. That means what will happen? I want to see, at least in chat, who is here, who doesn't have the camera on, who is here and is able to do audio, because as I said, guys, you will go.
Hi, I'm Jono. I'm here with.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was having trouble with it. So anyway, all good.
That's awesome. You're back and I can see your face. That's beautiful. I really like that. And I have Garrett, I have Clay, I have Stefan. Nick already said that he has trouble. It's technical trouble. I can definitely excuse that.
I wasn't getting on my iPad. I wasn't getting no volume. So I had to do it on my phone.
Beautiful. Awesome, Jono. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate that. And Suvra, if you're here, I can see you're here. Awesome. Suvra, please be sure that you can turn your audio on, because we are going to break our room. And what I would love to do and start with is the one thing. You will have a few minutes. It will be very short breakout room, very short one. It will be Daniela, 2 people in the room. Please exclude us.
Alex, if you can just give me admin permissions, I can get that done.
I didn't do it. Oh my gosh, sorry for that. You are in. Awesome. So we'll have 2 people in the room, and I want to use just 3 minutes of the time at the beginning and share, of course, your name. Share what you're grateful for. One thing that pops up in your mind, one thing that you're grateful for. I'm sure that'll be all the family stuff. And what brought you here? But I would like to hear what brought you here from perspective, not like I found it on LinkedIn, I saw the event. I want to know, what is the reason you think that this can be valuable for you? It's more about that. I really want to understand, why is this valuable? Why do you think this will be for you? What brought you here from that perspective? Okay. Let me know, Dan, if you're set up. Everybody understand? Everybody's clear what we're sharing in the breakout room?
Yeah, just give me 1 second there, Alex.
Yeah, good day. It's all right.
Hi. What happened?
My partner dropped off.
Oh,
okay,
bugger.
just stay here. That's fine. Yeah, we will have only probably 1 minute anyway. I will probably ask you if you don't mind to share what brought you here.
I was just saying to a partner, I guess it's all in the breakout room. I suppose being fairly would say immature on the leadership journey and wanting to learn more about, I'm always keen to learn about myself and also how to have courageous conversations. That was something that really keen to learn more about.
Awesome. Love it. Thank you very much for that. That's awesome. Yeah, it's very important.
When do you want me to close out the rooms there, Alex?
Yeah, I think we can close. People are coming back.
All right, I'll shut them down.
Welcome back, Craig, Jono. I can see
Thank
you,
you.
Peter. And welcome, Niroshi. I see you coming. And please let me know, Niroshi, if you can turn your video on because we want to see your beautiful face. Suvra, I can see you also.
Hi.
Awesome.
Hi,
It's much better, right? It feels so much better when everybody's in the room and actually we can smile on each other. It's so much better. And Greg can smile as well. He has really good smile.
There it is.
Thank you.
So important, right? Like it's so much warmer and better to be in the room where people actually are together and are present. Oh, so different, such a different experience. And for me, it's yeah, I can connect with you guys much better, and it's really important for the session. Is everybody coming? I think people are enjoying the rooms. They don't want to come back.
They've got 6 seconds and they'll all be booted out, so they're on their way.
Just quick question, Craig, Jono, like Greg, did you have some partner in the room? Did you have partner? Did you?
Yeah. We all spoke about to meet each other.
Good. Awesome. I was so stressed. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to see this. No audio, no video. Awesome. Do we have everyone back or how that looks like, Dan?
Yeah, the groups have been closed, so we should have everyone back.
Beautiful. Okay, I will call 3 people to share. I would love to hear from you guys. What brought you here? What is the reason you think you can get some value from here? And yeah, I would love you to share if anyone is open to share.
I'm happy to share. I just want to become a stronger leader, and yeah, pretty much just become a stronger leader and have confidence about it.
Love that. Awesome. I hope we will have a little bit more confidence at the end of this session. Okay.
No
I will
worries.
ask you. Awesome. Who else would love to share?
Okay. Me.
Veronica.
What brought me here was I have issues communicating to my boss. I know that sounds weird. And I would like to learn how to control my emotions.
Beautiful. Yeah, awesome. Love that, Veronica. That's really, really important, and that's awesome reason to be here. Beautiful. Thank you very much. How amazing it is when we can actually control ourselves from perspective, and we talk to that person that makes us a little bit angry or frustrated, and it's like, oh, I don't really want to talk to this person, or today I don't want to see this person, but we can control it and we can go through that. Or sometimes we are scared to open up the conversation, but we can actually overcome the fear, and we can go with our clear head, because when we are in stress and high cortisol, what happens, the intellect drops, and we don't want to come to the conversation with dropped intellect, right? We want to be in a higher and the best level when we communicate to people. That means that's awesome reason. And I will have one more person to share. Yeah, everybody's so brave. Come on, your leaders, guys.
Okay, so I share.
Slovakia.
7 in the morning. So I came here just to get emotionally stronger and to find my blind spots, which I can fill in. And just to have the power and will to sometimes step back and to see things from brighter perspective, because everything that's happening, whether it's good or bad, it's for our good, because we have to learn something from it. So this is what I want to see before I burst into something, not very nice.
No, that's awesome. And I love your awareness, Eva. I think you have all you need as a leader, and I love that you are on the journey of growing and improving. And we are not perfect, right? We are learning every day from every situation. Thank you so much for sharing. That's beautiful. And for those of you who didn't speak, I will ask you later on. And I would love to go straight away into story, because what is the better start than stories? And I was thinking, what will be great to share from perspective of understanding that, yeah, confidence is a great word, you know, and being emotionally fit is a great word, but how did it actually play a role in our own feelings and emotions and our own growth, and what actually we can do with that is so important. And I can take you back into my life when I was having the best life of my life. I was already coaching 10 years ago for American Incorporated. I was traveling the world. I had teams all around Europe in every country. It was such an amazing work, right? But I didn't have any idea what is coaching, but I was doing that. I don't even know how, but I was achieving really good results, and I lived really great life. And I'm sure you can resonate that sometimes we have those great times, like the work is great, family is great, we feel really good, right? Like who has those times in their life? Yeah, that means we have them. But after that, I moved to Australia, and I had, we call it winter. I had really winter time. It was terrible. I lost myself totally. I had anxiety, what I didn't know exists. Or I know that people talk about that, right? Like anxiety is the big thing. But I was like, what is that anxiety? And I felt it. I couldn't breathe. I was feeling so stuck because I came to Australia. I knew no one. There was no one around me, no one to ask even what to do here in Perth, right? Like where I should go if I want to find a job. I don't have any idea. And yes, maybe that was me not being prepared for it, because I was still hoping that maybe I'm not going to move, but I moved. And, you know, the day when I was sitting in an airplane, I was thinking, wow, like I don't have any idea what I'm going to do. And when I stepped from the plane, it was such a weird feeling. I just felt like I don't belong. First time in my life, before living in Thailand, having business in Bahamas, always felt like I belong everywhere. This was first time I really had that deep feeling, this is not for me. This is something I don't like. And from that day, because I set up that belief that this is not for me, and I actually start my journey in Perth with that thinking, everything was going wrong. I couldn't find a job for maybe almost even a year. I think it was 1,024 CVs or resumes I sent. I was crying in my room. I was living in an area where we didn't even have neighbors, and it was close to the beach. I didn't even go to the beach. I hated everything around me. I didn't like the culture. I couldn't connect. I was so sad, and I couldn't see the way out. I just didn't want to socialize, so didn't have energy. And I was thinking one day, sitting there with no friends, and some friends that I had or found, there was all those people that were complaining and blaming, and I was creating this ripple effect around me, like all those people, there was negativity, and I was even more negative, and I couldn't find a way out. I was just sitting there, and I was like, this is it. This is the life. This is what it's going to happen from now. Like from now on, basically, I think I was 37. I was like, 37, now I will just live this life, like this desperate feeling. And I was like, oh, I don't like it. That's not me. That's not who I am. And trust me, it took me a pretty long time to realize, actually, yes, that's not who I am, but how to deal with it, right? How to deal with that stuckness. And when we are stuck, we can't see the light. We can't see, like someone tells you, you know, like, oh, look at the sky, look at the beach. People are telling me, look how beautiful beach you have here. I said, yeah, I don't care. I don't like it. I just didn't like the beach, right? Everybody loves beach. I'm sure everybody loves that. And it was such a weird feeling to say no and see the darkness and see the dark places and negativity. It's just, it wasn't me. And now that day when I was thinking, okay, I need to do something with this, because running doesn't really help, because I thought that my anxiety, you know, I will breathe through, and I was going to run, and anxiety kicked, and I couldn't breathe. I just stopped, and I was just standing, and I was like, oh, can't even catch the breath, like total freak. And that day was probably the day when I made a decision, and I said, okay, I need to find a way out. And I started to think about what was my life before like, what was different when I really loved my work. I had amazing people around. I was doing the job of my dreams. What was that like? And I was thinking, I was doing something that I really actually enjoyed. And I had a lot of people around me, and we were helping each other. And I was writing those small things that I was experiencing that time. I didn't have any idea about coaching, but I realized that day that coaching was something I really enjoyed because I was helping people. I was paid for that. Like, wow, it's like, I'm just talking to people, I'm telling them something and they do something different in their life and they change and everybody's happy and I'm even more happy than them. That means that realization was, okay, I need to find something, some kind of school to understand what this coaching about. I Googled the best school in Australia, I found a school and I'm studying the last 7 years, basically. But what happened that day, I started to study and I started to understand that all what I caused, all the pain, all the suffering, I caused just by my thinking. It was caused by how I was thinking. And I was like, what do you mean? How I was thinking, how I'm thinking, you know, what is that? Like, what are my thoughts? I didn't know. And that is taking me into our content or our breakup of like awareness and unconscious. I was living in unconscious life, unconsciously. I didn't know what I feel, why I feel it. I just know I'm not happy. I just, that was it. And I know that, you know, we call it anxiety or feeling down or stuck, but I didn't know what does that mean in general. I didn't know what is the difference, you know, emotions, feelings. I didn't understand that. I started to learn deeper about that. And one day I was thinking, okay, that means I need to think differently. Like, what is different? It's like, okay, what is different? It didn't work. It was terrible. It didn't work. But what I realized that I had to understand how our brain works, how that is disconnected from mind. Our mind can train the brain. And what I realized when my mind is actually supporting me with something that serves me, I evoke emotions in my body. I realized the change, not in my brain, not in my mind, because that takes time, but I noticed the change in my body. I was able to get out of the anxiety. It took me a few weeks. Don't think that was in one day, but feeling in my body that I was able to evoke was happiness, excitement. And I was this person like, oh, opportunities. I'm in Australia, I can do everything. And I just started to see all those things. I was like, beach, I can go surfing. Wow, I can go for surfing lessons, idiot. It was all these things just like popping up in my mind. And I became happier. I felt energized. I didn't have any energy before, but now I had this energy of discovery, curiosity, and it was my body changing. And I'm saying physiology because to change our mind, to change our thinking patterns takes time. That means when we want to reprogram our mind, because we know we are conditioned, it takes time. But what we can change first and fast is our physiology, is our feeling. That means if you have a moment in your life that you feel so energized and you felt proud of yourself or you did something amazing, recall that feeling anytime you need it. Take it as a tool, recall that feeling, and you will see how you change your day. I was able to change my life. I was able to change and start 2 businesses. And when I go back, I can't believe I was that person. I can't recognize that person. Now I'm seeing you guys and I'm able to share things. I wasn't able to talk in front of people that time. I wouldn't be sharing anything with you. I would probably just crying, crying and crying. But the feeling that I can stand in front of people face to face or Zoom, it doesn't really matter, because what is most important, we can connect emotionally. We can experience things together. We can share together. And that is the feeling in body I have. And that's what I can teach you today, how to actually recognize those things, what are going in our life and how we can change them. Okay. Are you okay to go? That was too long story, I know. Okay. Can you see my board? Yes. Awesome. Okay. Let me, from perspective of what I was talking about, the story, right? Like there's a lot of stories I have with my clients, and now I find them in the same spot. They don't need to have anxiety, but they can be stuck as a leader, right? They can be stuck and thinking, I'm not sure what to do with my people now. I'm not sure. I feel really doubt, like maybe they don't like me, they don't respect me, all those things. It is similar mind where we are functioning, right? That is what I realized, that yes, we need to go from unconscious living to first level, and there's awareness. Who knows what is unconscious living? Like, can you share with me? I'm sure that you guys already know a little bit about that. Can someone jump in and just tell me what is unconscious living for you? What do you think is behind that? Like how we live when we live unconsciously?
I don't know, just existing.
Yeah, it feels like not existing. I can share that. It feels like you don't matter, you're not there, but you don't know what to do, like you're just living, right? Like you are like a robot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else has any word or insight on that? Like when you're living unconscious life.
You don't realize why things are happening, and you just maybe think that things are happening to you, but they are happening
Yes.
for you at the end of the day. So you
Love
just
it.
have to see it, and then, as you said, find the feeling, and then go
Yeah.
with the flow. Don't fight it. Let the
Yeah.
emotion go through, and to process this and go
Yeah.
further.
Yeah, you're already here somewhere. Yeah, that's good. That's great. That means I can see you're somewhere here, right? I will write it. Yeah, but it's exactly like we just kind of live the life, and we think the things happen to us. We are in blaming, you know, and it's not my fault. It just happens, you know. I'm not lucky, and all those things. Like, right? It's not my fault. It just happened to me, and I was just I actually. A lot of people say even like I can't have business or I'm not rich because I wasn't at the right time at the right place and things like that, right? We just living that and we think that's fine, like that's our life, and we just go through life like that. There is no result here. Now, the first level is awareness. We are trying to move to awareness, and basically through the story of myself or my clients is when we realize that we are angry a lot of time, we feel resistance, we are frustrated a lot of time, or one person makes us angry, or we just really don't want to do anything. We don't feel like doing anything. We just in that negative emotion. That means any negative emotion we have, we start to be aware of that. That means we know, I don't know, the situation really outburst our emotions, and we are screaming at a colleague, or we are screaming at home, you know, and we are screaming at our kids. Sometimes not necessary, but we do, right? And we realize that that's us. But now in this stage, we kind of identify ourselves with that, like, oh, I'm just an angry person, right? That means that's just kind of step towards awareness. But what is the third or most important level is self-awareness. Now, self-awareness is when you do already work on that. That means you know that you are, for example, angry, frustrated, or you know exactly what kind of emotions you have. I'm sure you are aware of that. And now you can start to question them. That means your question is, okay, where is this coming from? What is the trigger? What can I do with this? Why I feel that way? Is this serving me? Is this helping me to achieve results? And this is really important because we don't question our emotions a lot of time during the day. We don't have time, right? But what we can start doing is, I feel anger, I feel resistance, pause, and start to ask, is that serving me? Is that moving me towards my goal? I procrastinate. Why? Where is that emotion coming? What is stopping me? What is the fear behind? Or like we start to really question what is happening in our body, because I will explain in a second, because we know where emotions coming from. But what I would like to do, use the chat, guys, and think about that, like where do you feel you are at right now? And you can just put the one word there. If you are U, A, or S level, if you can share in the chat, that would be awesome. S. Yeah, of course we have some S's here. I can tell because you were already here, Eva. I heard that. S. A, S, S, A, S, U.
I'm a
Love
U.
it.
I'm sorry. I'm a U, I think.
Thank you, Jono. If you can put it in the
Right,
chat.
I'm having difficulty actually writing it.
Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much. And I love your self-awareness or honesty, you know, to yourself, because this is not about looking good or not looking good. I'm sometimes in awareness and probably not doing anything with that, because, you know, sometimes we are in that state and that level, but at least a few times a day or a few times a week, if we can go in that self-awareness mode and we can start to question our feelings, it will be awesome. And I love that I can see a few A and U, and I see some big S's there. Now, I will show you a little bit deeper how we can work with this. Is that okay? Everybody is fine with that? Cool. I can see some heads. Okay. If you didn't do this, I feel like we don't want it. I'm just thinking how, okay, I will just share something. I was actually going to share the picture and the lady that I was working with, but I was thinking maybe not picture, because if she comes to the session, I need to prepare her for that, right? But she was my client in Switzerland, and it was so interesting how this process, what we talk about, this development, we call it this conscious leadership activator. That means it's something that Dan came up with, and I love that. It's such an amazing process, because what happened, it doesn't matter, as I said, if you are in leadership position, or if you are homestay mom, or if you're someone who wants to build a career or build a business or their own idea, or develop, you know, something towards bigger vision. It doesn't really matter. What is most important, that at any point of life, we don't want to be stuck. We want to be able to move ourselves further and forward. That means what this lady did, she was actually homestay mom because she had 3 kids, and she had to stay home because husband was working. And she kind of, instead of 2 or 3 years, she stayed 10 years, right? And she was at home. She's 44 now. And I knew her before. She was an amazing lady. And now I spoke after 10 years with someone that I didn't recognize. She was telling me she's not going to shop because she's scared. She doesn't want to be around people. She was feeling really down. And I couldn't believe that. Like, that person was so smart and so amazing. And I saw her, I know her from the school. And now it was this lost person and didn't know what to do with life. And we have a few chats and we started a program together. But what happened, I can't even say that, because she is running her own business. Like, she is running her own business. She's going everywhere. She's getting clients on board. She's going to the doors. She's doing some volunteering activity. She's helping community. She's doing everything now. She's like a powerhouse. And it was all just on the internal, with the internal work or inner work. That means we need to start work on ourselves to be able to get that power. To being empowered and energized and having that confidence is so important in any goal we have. And how we did it, as I said, we talk about awareness. That means that first step, of course, is being aware. That means we are trying to learn what are our thinking patterns. Who here heard about beliefs? Cool. Awesome. Mark or Greg, I will just check in. What does that mean for you when you think about beliefs? What beliefs are?
For me, it's, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
Okay. For me, it's
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks.
It's what you've been programmed with. So how you've been conditioned as you go through life.
Yeah.
And things that you do unconsciously because it's what has been programmed into your brain.
Yeah, I love that. And I love your insights, Mark. Yes, you know, part of the ego, because we're creating our beliefs based on ego because we are protecting ourselves. That means our ego is kind of creator. And what is important, I always said, remember, you are not experiencing life. You are experiencing your beliefs. This is really important sentence, because we are experiencing our perception. We are experiencing the life through our lenses. I actually did make example today at the session with in our group coaching sessions. And there was about 2 people. Imagine that you have one person that you really like. It's your friend, you trust someone. And you have this person that you just didn't trust because sometimes somewhere in the past, that person says something. And you realize that you just don't trust them, or you just judge them, or it was something you didn't like. It just didn't fit to your beliefs. Now you have those 2 people and they give you some great business advice. What we naturally do, we take the friend's advice. We totally delete or disregard the advice from the person we don't trust. True? Most of the time, right? Yeah. I would like to just bring attention to that, because we have perception about people. We created perceptions, and we call it subconscious biases. We created biases, beliefs, and we created it about other people. That means, imagine that you're a leader and you do it naturally. That means you're doing that before this unconsciously, right? Like you do that unconsciously. Imagine how your conversation will be. It will be biased. It will be based on your beliefs. It's not going to be real ever. That means that's why we work with awareness, to bringing awareness and second step understanding what actually our limiting beliefs are, our limits are, our thinking patterns are. Let's say, example of, very simple example, I think I mentioned that in the last session, maybe I should pick up the different one, but what happened with beliefs if you just get divorced, let's say you get divorced, and now as a woman, we usually the first thing or first belief we actually get conditioned into, or we condition ourselves to, is that I'm not attractive anymore, because someone just say, you know, I'm going to divorce you, or someone has maybe a girlfriend or whatever it is, but we just get that belief, nothing else. We just think we are not attractive. Now, 7 years later, you're going to the party, and now you have these amazing people around that telling you how amazing you are, how energized you are. You know, finally, you are here shining and you're on party. Maybe you're finally going to get someone and marry someone. But the one person tells you that you should probably pick up a red dress, not a green dress. What do you think you will remember from the party? What do you think your thought process will be? I should dress up differently. I just can't dress up properly. I always do it. I'm just not good enough in this. I will just never have anyone. And you're going and going and going, right? And we are creating this amazing story based on our limiting belief, based on the belief that we condition ourselves to. Now, I know there was a very simple example, and there's so many of them in life. And if you want to look for them, search for that, there is the sentence you can think about. I would love to have, I don't know, let's say, great body, right? Like, let's talk about health. But I don't have time to go to gym, or but I don't have time to exercise, or but I don't have time to prepare my meals. Everything what you want, and you say, but X, Y, Z, that's your limiting belief. That's the simplest way uncover some limits that we have. It's very surface, but they will show you what actually you are avoiding. What is your limit? Sometimes it can be not only but because. I don't have it because. Great, that's always a great excuse, right? Everybody can see already that doing some limits, and yeah, I can see that, Tamara. I will just take the other list for this, because what I would love you to do today to understand a little bit deeper how that works, I will just show you a little bit of graph. But before we jump into that, like, I would love to do one thing. Daniela, if you can share the link in a chat, and also a workbook as well, just to be sure that everybody has a workbook that you can take it away. Please don't use it now. But I would like you to find a time together with me if you are open to start your journey or move towards more confidence, more excitement in your life, or maybe just really find out about that inner power and really find out what is your path for growth. What is your strategy? What tools you can use? What do you need actually focus on in your development and your growth? If you are, yes, I can see the worksheet. If you are in a chat, you will have the session link is there. Awesome. That means if you are interested, do it. There's only 2 weeks time. That means it's this week and next week. And let's find a time together, 30 minutes, and we can discuss where you are at. It's no cost. Value of the session is $500. I will create a plan for you for your growth, and I will be happy to talk about where you are at, where you want to go, and what is the gap we need to fill, right? And definitely some use and A's definitely shift to us, because that's the best place to be. I can see Danielle is like, yeah, it is. But I'm saying that, okay, I will move to a little bit of explanation. When I was talking about thinking, that means I was in that, or my clients, when I talk about Katka, we were here, right? In resistance, fear, there was no result. And everything was kind of darker, right? It was anger, frustration, and a lot of judgment. There is a lot of judgment on this side. Judgment of ourselves, other people, comparison, all the strange thinking patterns that actually are making us feel negative way. Now, Why I'm saying that? Because thoughts create emotions and feelings. Now we have 70,000 thoughts, guys, 70,000 thoughts. Now in new research saying 130,000 thoughts a day. That's massive, right? I didn't even want to hear that. I was like, no, 70,000, I will stay with 70,000, okay? Most of those thoughts, because that's how we are conditioned, are actually on program. It's conditioning. It's based on what we developed first 3 years or 7 years of our life. And during that life, we are, of course, developing more and more limits because there is, oh, don't do that, that's dangerous. Or we're going to try something, we fail. And sometimes we just say, you know what, that's not for me, I don't want to try it. Or someone says something to you, any experience, any memory, anything you experience in your life is conditioning you. Now, as I mentioned, there are those filters, beliefs. And beliefs I mentioned because beliefs, limiting beliefs, to me, is the easiest way to understand our filter that is taking us to our emotions. Because as I said, when you believe about the person that is a good person, you take that advice. That means you delete, other stuff. That means we delete, distort, and generalize. And if that person doesn't fit to our good perception or good, good beliefs, we just delete it. And based on that, we feel emotions. Now, I was there. I didn't like pet. I didn't like people. I didn't like culture. I was focusing on everything what I don't like. I was living in fear that I couldn't find a job. Maybe I don't find a job. What am I going to do? When you are moving yourself and realize that everything is based on your beliefs, values, or memories or experience, when you bring awareness to that, you can ask yourself, what thought will serve me better? And I realized there is one thought that was serving me better. You can do everything you want. It's just on you. That means I started to take responsibility. Everything what was happening to me, it was me. Everything was me. That means everything what is you or your experience, everything negative that you experience, it's you. It's a reflection of your thinking. Everything what we feel is a reflection of our thinking. That means if you feel you're not good enough, or if you feel that you are not respected or somebody's not listening to you, it's on you. Maybe your message is not coming across, or maybe your message needs to be changed. Maybe the person is receiving your message different way because that is different personality. That's what we do in the course. We talk about different energies, personalities, behavioral styles, because when I will talk about this big vision with you, some of you are analytical here. I will look at me like, I don't know what she's talking about, and probably leave the room. That means we have different perceptions, different way how we receiving the messages, different way how we communicate. That means I realized that all what I need to change is actually believe in myself. And I was thinking how I can do it. That means I put the physiology, emotion to my body first because I couldn't find that belief. That means what I did, I exchanged this a little bit. And I was thinking, what was the best time, best day of my life when I felt freedom, when I felt I'm powerful, I can do everything. And there was one moment in Greece, it recalled emotions that were evoking positive thinking. It's strange because everybody always says it's the thinking first, but first thinking, yes. But if we can't change our physiology and we are still in that, bubble of negativity, it's really hard to find that light, that sun, something positive. It's hard. That's why I always said, just think about that, what you feel in your body when you experience something positive. Now, what do you think when we start to work on our thinking patterns, we are creating these better thinking patterns and creating better emotions. What happened after? What we are influencing by our emotions?
And behavior.
Sorry?
Behavior.
Yes. I'll put it like here, behavior. That's really good. What else? You can guys unmute yourself and feel free, because if you have background noise, of course, stay muted, but if you don't, just feel free to talk. You can just.
I cry, but that's just me.
Sorry, what was that, Veronica?
I said I cry, but that's just me.
Yeah, I'm talking about what will be affected the most when we think about, we shift our mindset, we shift our thinking. Now we have emotions, we feel better. Now, what we want as a leader, I will just write it for you. We want to make better decisions.
And we
Right?
see opportunities, maybe,
Yeah.
that we didn't see before.
Yes. Opportunity. I will put love here. Sorry, but it's love. Compassion. If we have all those feelings and we start to think from that perspective, you know, what compassion will do, what understanding would do, we will start to make better decisions. Why I'm saying that, because when we are in that emotional outburst or somebody makes us angry and we think that somebody can make us angry, what I will totally change. If you still think that somebody makes you angry, not, it's not. Nobody else in the world can make you angry. It's you, okay? That's just a little bit of truth here, right? And what happened basically, we start to make better decisions, because when we are in conversation with our team members, we are in conversation, maybe even someone, you know, about us, and if we are scared to tell them something, we want to deliver a feedback, let's say. What happens, we are in stress, that means our emotion is high cortisol. And as I said, in that level of, you know, faster heartbeat, cortisol is getting crazy. What happens, we are lowering our intellect. That means we are reacting. And on this side, we are in reactive mode. That means whatever we want to say and make decision about or talk to someone, the result is not going to be great. A result can be argument, result can be we are not going to make someone happy, or we are not going to be happy. Sometimes, you know, when you have this anniversary dinner and you're waiting for your partner and it doesn't come, and we are all here like, oh, he's probably cheating on me, and we are all this negativity here, then probably we will throw away the dinner and he's not going to get dinner and we will argue, right? That means the end of all this pattern we have. This is when you think from neuroscience, behavioral science, like we think, and the way we think, we feel, we create emotions. Based on that, we make decisions and behaviors or actions. And based on that, we create results. Can you see how hard it will be to change result first? Who can see it? Just start from result, right? Like how? Is we will try to get 20 million people on call and we get some great results for a second. We will have this, I don't know, let's say great results in the business. And now, because we are actually not aligned with that results and thinking, or we are not thinking that level, how misaligned we will be, right? Because we will be in negative thoughts. Basically, all the results we will achieve, probably everyone will leave us in a few weeks or months, because they realize that, geez, how this person thinks, I don't want to be around this person. This person is emotional and is angry and frustrated all the time. Your result disappeared, right? Can you see it? Who can see that? That means what is the most important part is understanding that all people that are talking about mindset and thinking, they're actually right. And now it's a lot of new research based on how we can, with our mind, because we are not our mind. Now, the new research is that we can change our brain. We can change our health. We can change who we are. We can become whoever we want. You can reinvent yourself. How amazing is that? You can. Of course, I will always say to stay in love side, okay? Compassion and understanding. Don't go there. Don't reinvent yourself to be this crazy outburst person all the time, and people will be scared to be around, right? That means what we want to build up is understanding how fast we can actually take ourselves to that state, how fast we can bring that awareness, you know, like who we are, where we are at with our thinking. And emotions are always the sign. We know where our thinking is, because we know what we feel. That means if you feel resistance, you know, you probably judge yourself. Maybe you compare to other people. Maybe you just find a little bit of anger there because you think that somebody doesn't respect you in the team. But what you can do, you know, when that emotion is resistance, you're here, and all what you need to change is think about, if I'm compassionate, if I understand, and if I'm this loving person, and the person in front of me, even though my perception is about this person, I don't trust this person, but if you change your perspective of that person, that you love that person, your all conversation and feelings will change, and you will feel present. You will feel aligned. That's the inner peace. That's the inner well-being. To come from love, to come from compassion, to come from understanding, because everybody is at a different level. Everybody has different story, different life, and nobody's trying to make you angry. Is that just that other person probably just can't see the way out? The other person doesn't know about this. Are you feeling present? I feel so present. Are you here, guys? I will open up this before we will go to release mode. I will open up this forum a little bit and see what is coming up for you. Who would like to share? What is coming? What is maybe something in your life? Maybe you saw someone somewhere. Maybe you saw someone angry and just makes sense now. Is there anything that comes up as an insight or something that you know you can change or you want to change? Mark? Yeah, awesome, Mark, go.
Yeah, one of the things that I think a lot of the time is that we either project our emotions and feelings onto people, or we take on board other people's emotions and feelings. And that has huge, I suppose, consequences and implications on how you act.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good insight, because when someone angry comes to us, first what happens? We're jumping on this side because we are protecting ourselves. The first thing is our ego, defensiveness. I want to protect myself, right? But when you are on this side already and you are not a person that is reactive, because all what we learn is to be able to respond. And that's the time when the environment is not influencing us, because we know who we are. We know what we are doing. We know we are fair. We know we're coming from love. And it's like your language totally changed. I had a very good experience with, there was the guy who was running the construction company, and he came to me, he was like, I don't know what to do, but my assistant, like, I can't work with her because she's totally disrespectful. She doesn't want to work with me. She's just not doing what I tell her. I tell her to do something, she just doesn't do it. I don't know why, and I just don't know how to talk to her, and I'm avoiding her. I said, you are a businessman, you're a director of the company, you are avoiding your assistant, come on. And there was this tiny belief and tiny thing that he was all the time in that emotion of stress. Like he saw her and already he was reactive. That means, you know, he grabbed his bag, but she didn't do anything. He created an environment. That means sometimes even the other person doesn't need to be there, but he created an environment that she started to be kind of angry and stressed. I said, just go to her, invite her for coffee and tell her, look, I really want to have a coffee with you because I think something doesn't work for us here. And I want you to feel better. I want you to be happier in the work. Because he didn't stay in the ego position and reactive and telling her like, oh, let's talk about this, you know, like everyone always said, let's talk about that. We need to sort it out and I need to fire you. Easy, babe, right? But instead, he put himself on the response side. He showed her love and care. He showed her, look, I just really want to fix this because I know you're feeling really bad. He showed empathy because he basically became walking in her shoes. And he said, look, I think this has to feel bad every day in the work. You know, we try to avoid each other. You probably feel stress as well as I, you know, we both feel stress. Let's sort it out. He had the best conversation with that lady and they're working together smoothly, loving each other. Like she's so helpful. And it was just that one conversation to show empathy. It was just that one thing that he showed, he cared. And he came from love instead of his normal reaction. I don't need to deal with that. I'm the boss. I don't have nerves for this, right? So it's very easy for us to be on that side. It's very natural because we are conditioned to that because everybody is like that, right? Everybody is overreactive. Most people are reacting. Who agrees that most people are reactive all the time, even at home sometimes, right? And it's sad. But I don't know if that answers your question, Mark, but like, or your insight that go deeper, like, because we don't need to be influenced by environment. We can stay here.
And Alex, it's interesting. You mentioned the two words, react and respond. And, you know, they kind of, people almost, you know, and it's amazing. Those two words people generally think are quite similar or mean the same thing, but it actually is quite different. And if you put it in the context of that example that you gave, it makes a lot of sense that, you know, we shouldn't react to things, we should respond to things.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing, Mark. That's awesome. That was great wrap up of that. Yeah. Anyone else? Yeah.
I just want to point out as well, like what Alex has actually written down there I mean, when we speak about it, I mean, this is just like, we're just kind of touching on these things, but these are deep processes. And I just want to sort out that, like, you know, some people can get stuck in that emotional space. And then what we find is those emotions then start to influence your thoughts. So it's not like a cascade where it starts from thought, emotion, decision, behavior, result. Like, your results can actually affect your emotions, and those emotions can affect your thoughts. The next thing you know, you're on a downward scale, right? So this is like a nice, obviously just a quick sort of workshop to go over these things, but these are deep sort of topics, and what tends to really influence a lot of people's reactivity, because ultimately a lot of us are full of desire. We're all full of experiences, and some of those are traumatic, you know, and not to mention that, you know, we all have our own, you know, needs, again, desires, which kind of can motivate a lot. So these aren't always so clean to work through, and it does require tremendous amounts of self-reflection to be able to get clarity on that. So don't want to just, you know, say that this recipe is just write down this recipe and you're good to go, because, you know, it is a journey. It is an absolute journey.
Thank you so much, Dan. It's absolutely a journey, like all personal growth. And I know a lot of people here, most of you guys, I know you are on the personal growth journey. And I love, Greg, you shared neuroplasticity is exactly like we can retrain our brain, and our brain is the only organ that is actually evolving. It is evolution. We are evolving. And even when you are 50, 60, 70, your brain can be still better than it was in your 20s and 30s. And it's all new research done that we can become a totally different person. Bias said that you can reinvent yourself, because you can. The books you start to read, the path in the personal development you take, people you surround yourself with, it's absolutely life-changing. If I speak with my friends, or when I go back home after, geez, what is that? 7 years in Australia, I was 3 years in Thailand, a year in Bahamas. That is when I'm thinking, like, I don't know, 15 years ago. But I meet people again home, and most of them are talking about the same thing they talked 17 or 15 years ago. And I'm not saying that I'm special. I'm just saying that I love growth. I love that, because that sense of, or just knowing that brain is evolving, and I can become better human being, and I can be responding instead of reacting, and I can stop blaming, and I can take responsibility for my life, full responsibility. And if I know that I want $1 million next year or next week or whatever, I know I can achieve it when I will sit down and do the work that I know is important, but I'm not going to avoid it and react because I'm in fear, or I'm in anger, or I don't call someone that can help me because I just don't like that person. I can all avoid it. I can go through because I know what is right for my goal and myself and people around me. And that's the most important part of the journey. It's not just a fluffy thing and talk about this, but it's all implemented into your life daily, implemented different thinking. And what happened here, when we just did small model exercise a little bit, right? Like, we actually code ourselves, let's say, in the mode of fear. And we think about it, okay, what will be the better response? What will happen when I pause and to take myself away from that high cortisol level? What will be better respond? And I will get better result. Because again, it's all about better results as well, because we want better results for ourselves and other people. So it's just a question that is always helpful. And I would love to know from at least two of you guys, I would love to, I actually shouldn't call you guys. It was my coach always said, like, don't call people guys, right? I would love to hear what, maybe if you can share something like, why do you think this will be important for you? Like, why do you think that can play a role in your next steps or next career? I would love to hear something. It will be awesome if you can share. Nicholas, I can see you. Awesome.
Yep. Yeah. For me, it's more about stepping up in my leadership role within the within my role as a state emergency service volunteer. It's about helping the community. It's about developing the future leaders within that volunteer kind of organization. And there are those that are there that haven't really had that mentoring effect given to them. They've had the leaders there, but the leaders have been negative. So it's kind of being able to come in and be that caring and nurturing leader to help develop and point them in the right direction.
When you are the nurturing leader and you're helping others, how do you think that help you? What else you will experience?
I think it's sense of reward, sense of
Nice.
self-worth.
Nice.
Like
Yeah.
it's a, yeah.
That means sense of reward. It's probably like something like you feel good because you know you can do this, right? Like you actually feel that you help someone and you help someone else to move forward and help someone to feel better as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Beautiful. Anyone else? I would love to hear at least one person, guys, if you would love to share. How do you think this can help you influence your life? Or how do you see this as a value for yourself, for you?
So Alex, this can also help as a leader in the household, right? So
Yes, absolutely.
it's all about, I mean, even as we grew up as children, etc., we were influenced the way that we do things now. So it's a matter of reprogramming some of that if we're not happy with what we have.
Yes.
And being able to live the life we want to live by, first of all, as you've said, being aware, understanding that even through school, everything we did, it was all about control. It was all about perfectionism. It was all about having to get everything right and do it by yourself, right? Whereas actually leadership is not that. Leadership is being humble. It's about accepting that we all have limitations and we are all awesome, or flawsome, actually, I prefer to say, because we are awesome, but we have flaws. We're humans. So, and a good way to practice that is in the household, right? So if you like, one of my biggest challenges is that I tend to raise my voice at home, right, when I'm not getting my own way, and I'm sure some of us
Thank you for sharing.
can relate to that. But as long as I'm aware of that, I can do something about it.
Love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's when I mentioned that, you know, like being aware that this is what I'm doing, that's my behavior, but now I can change it because I'm aware of that. That's exactly the truth. That's exactly the process, right? Because we can't change what we are not aware of. And as I was, you know, saying, like we all are guilty from perspective. And when you think about how we come into the room of people, you know, sometimes, or when I'm thinking, you know, years ago, I come to the room and straight away I was judging or comparing, and I was thinking, you know, oh, I shouldn't be here, or oh, what this person does or doing here, you know, it was not nice. It was me feeling bad, but also it's not nice to judge people, right? And now, just from perspective of leadership, when we talk about inclusion, diversity, how you can be that leader, inclusive, you know, leader that is really driving for diversity. And I'm not talking that you need to have 50% of women and 50% of male. Please, let's don't talk about diversity in this sphere. It's more about how you can be open to take perceptions from everyone when you already judge someone. How you can be inclusive when you subconsciously give face someone that you don't like, you know, or make facial expression. And that happens all the time. I saw that even on networking events. That's why I gave up on that, because there were people rolling eyes around other people. That's just so toxic, right? And we know now that we don't want to do it. We don't want to be that person. If I will roll eyes on someone, honestly, I will just close the business and I will go to do whatever it is. I don't know, maybe just nothing. It's honestly, I experienced that. It was truly horrible. It was just that feeling of seeing adult person do it, the leader person who was owning the business. I just was blown away, right? That means really understanding that small things in our behavior are coming from our thinking and emotions. That means if we are not feeling great, set up ourselves for feeling better when we are going to the room of people. Because we want to be inclusive. And I hope I was all the time, because I'm watching you all. I can still see Peter and Naroshi and Nicholas, but I know Nicholas had trouble. Only Nicholas is excused, but we'll see what Peter and Naroshi will say. Okay, we would love to have a little bit of like a step-by-step, really simple process, how to kind of move through, I can see, right? Move through the discovering of what I feel, or how I behave, and how can I actually bring awareness, and what can I do next? I can see that was like big stuff. Okay, so is the third part of that what I would love to share. Do we have then still the link in the chat, please, for the session? Guys, if you want to find a time together, please just still book the session, because that will be available today. And for next 2 weeks, basically booking. That means just don't forget that is in the link in the chat. Thank you so much, Dan. That means now we have the stage where we all want to work in, right? We want to master that release. Who wants to master release? Yay! I want to feel that inner peace, that confidence. I want to have that. I want to be that person that is going through the room, you know, like a sun, and just being happy and aligned and being happy all the time, right? And it's possible. That's the magic. It is really possible. And I know everybody thinks that I'm too excited, but I am. Just to let you know, that's my normal nature.
It really
But
is.
what I would love to say, I just love this stuff because why I came up with this release state, that I was practicing a few different meditation and didn't work, okay? I'm not the person that can just stay on the rock and meditate. I love meditation when I can drop into my heart. And Dan was explaining that to me, like it's more, you know, coming from Buddhism, and it's very different. And I was like, yeah, I can't be in that cognitive, you know, I can't be in my brain. That means all meditations, they're guided. It just drives me nuts. Like I'm basically fighting with the person that is guiding me. That means I can't do it, right? That's me. That means I was trying to find a way how to actually really drop down into my body and start to feel the things, because I realized that's what is making me feeling differently and thinking differently, that I need to feel it. That means if you are not a feeler and you are really highly cognitive, I will suggest start to train to go to your heart. And you can even do it with just touching your heart. Just to feel it, just to feel, you know, just to feel your heart, listening your heart. Now, I realized that my reaction, when we were talking about reaction response, I realized that when I'm reacting, someone says something, I'm reacting, I feel that emotion in a body. That means, example, this will be very vulnerable. Please don't share this with anyone, okay? I was walking with my partner and it was, honestly, it was unbelievable because we were walking and normally he says something and I straight away get into this reaction. It's like, I was straight away angry, right? And I'm sure that people experience that in marriage and it's not fun, but it's just that moment. Like I was in that moment, I was like, I was going to anger, jealousy, everything, what you can imagine. But I was able to pause. That is what I did. I realized it was this awareness. That means it's like, bring awareness into your thinking or trigger. That means I was thinking, wow, okay, now I feel it. What is the trigger? Like, what is my thought? What am I thinking right now that I feel that way? That means I realized that my thought was actually, probably someone will resonate. He doesn't love me anymore. He will never do this for me. Oh my gosh, right? That means my thought was totally silly, right? It wasn't even true, but my thought was based on protecting myself, was coming from fear, maybe that he will leave me, I will leave him, or it's not going to work, we are not going to figure this out, or I don't know if I can live like this. And it was all these fears and frustrations coming. That means my reaction, my trigger was basically, he will never do it for me. That means it was defensive, it was protecting myself. And I realized that thought, I questioned the thought and I realized that's not actually true. What if I will come from the space or from the trust that he loves me, or, you know, he will do everything for me? I was like, oh, that feels better. Like, of course, I know it's hard, but I realized the second question has to be, what am I feeling? What is that thought triggering in my body? When I started to feel, I don't know if to call it behavior or, no, let's say feeling. My feeling was very, I just felt that in my heart, I felt almost like, I don't know if it's goosebump or something, but it was going through me. I felt the energy. And I believe you can feel the energy when you're angry, right? Like frustrated. It's going through our body. That means that feeling triggered behavior. And I was thinking, okay, what is your second question is, what is the behavior that is triggered by this trigger, by this thinking? My behavior following that thought was, I was mean to him. Look, it can be anything, right? Like your thought can be not going about, you know, I'm not enough, but I'm just talking about an example. But what happened, I was actually mean. I was dropping these bombs on him and I was basically provoking. I was trying to pick the fight. That was my learned unconscious behavior. When he says something what made me feel maybe I'm not good enough, or he doesn't do it for me, that I triggered this horrible behavior of picking the fight. Now, what happened in that moment, that was for me a miracle, because when I realized and brought awareness, what was the behavior triggered by that thought, it was almost like, imagine that you have system, you have some kind of construction. That construction just fell apart. It was gone. That feeling was gone straight away, because I was like, okay, what can I think instead? What can I feel instead? And I think,
is that something like overthinking situations and things like that?
it doesn't need to be overthinking, Jono. It's just the first thought. It's like something happens, you talk to someone, or somebody tells you something, like let's say somebody tells you're fired. What is your first thought? It will evoke the first thought, like, I don't know, I'm not good enough. What did I do wrong? It's all about us straight away. And it will evoke some kind of behavior. I'm not talking about you, that you will have the behavior, but some people will maybe burst into emotion. Some people will cry, some people will fight, because we will try to protect ourselves. That means that trigger of thought is behavior after that happens. But when you can actually bring awareness into those two, you realize that because now you catch your brain, you catch your mind, what it does. You catch your mind giving you this thought, a reaction, the feeling, and it's evoking the behavior. Now it just leaves. It leaves your body. You feel nice, warm feeling, because you feel like that energy is going away. I never ever after that have the same reaction on anything what he told me. Anything similar what he told me, anything what happened. I never have negative thought, he doesn't want me, I don't know, he's going to leave me, or I'm not good enough, or he will never do it for me. All those things connected in my partner because of changing this, it's gone. I don't have that reaction. I don't have that feeling. I replaced it with love and understanding. It was just that moment, if you can catch yourself, your mind, what your mind does to you, because this is your mind, this is not you. I was never ever a jealous person. I just had that thought and was evoking some jealous, angry situation, the feelings and behavior was speaking the fight to show him, pay attention to me, I'm here, whatever it was. But when I caught myself, I never experienced that again, because I realized there is something more what is serving me. And that was love and understanding. This is a very simple example. It can be so many of them. I'm sure you can recall conversations you had with colleagues or, boss or teammates, or maybe with your husband or wife. What is amazing that you don't need to master this in one day. Okay. I didn't do it in one day. It took me a lot of months. Okay. A lot of months of working, reading, going through courses, understanding what actually the mind does, what actually this brain does, and how we can change it. But studying more and more this and going through the journey and understanding where I need to move next, I'm free. There is no person on the planet that can make me angry. My client asked me a month ago about my colleague, and he said, it doesn't make you angry? You're not scared that he will be better than you? I love that. And I was laughing because I said, no, it's okay. Because I don't feel those emotions. And I know some people think that all those emotions are for people, I don't know, monks or, some other people, but you can master your emotion, your inner well-being. You can create the oasis. You can create it for yourself. That's why I like to call our group coaching sessions oasis, because we share gratitude. We share what we are challenged by. We talk about deeper stuff, but we can do it in our group because we all know where we're going. We all know what is important to us. And if your growth is important to you and you really want to move to that freedom, the feeling of freedom is the best ever. Thinking or your mindset, abundant mindset is the best ever, because you don't feel lack and you don't feel scared. Who is going to pay the bills, or am I going to make it this month? Because you can do it. You can feel better way. And why don't change our mind if we can feel better way every day? Why we will stay in suffering if we can choose happiness and freedom? Who is choosing freedom? Awesome. Is that actually something that you can use? Who is seeing some value in this? Give me hands up. Awesome. And because you say that is a value, I would love to invite you to share, because we are coming to the end of the show. Let's call it show. And I would love to hear, because there was probably a lot of stuff, but I see that you are actually listening, and I really appreciate it because I can see the heads and I'll be going through, and you're giving me more and more passion. That is, let's talk about you guys now, and let's talk about what resonated the most. Let's share what resonated the most, or where was that aha moment from the content we talk about, or the feelings you experience. Good, Dan, all good. Dan it needs to go. Thank you so much for your help. Who is going to share? Yeah, I saw someone put a hand up. Yeah, Mark, go for it. I can hear you. Can you please unmute yourself?
I just want to go back to that point where I think for me it was just a case of that there's that reaction and respond. And it's one of those things, as I think 99% of the time you react, and it's on that 1% of the time you respond, where it probably should flip that around. So
yeah, no, that's awesome. And it will bring you better results in communication, in relationship. It's not only about business or leadership. It's about every area of our life that we can actually get better results. And I believe we all want to have better results, and we have all big goals here. We would love to share. Thank you so much, Mark. Who is next? Because I will call you guys. Subra. Yes. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Basically, the history, when you said that you first of all come to Australia, it's same to me as well. And when I landed, and it's like, oh my God, what to do? A different culture, no one laugh at me, no friends, yeah, and
Yeah, I understand.
so that's why it is really important that when I found in you in LinkedIn, then I'm interested to this station, and yeah, it is lovely. And the self-awareness, that point, that is the most important to me, and how we say confident, and without any confidence, without and the belief, yeah, that's is most important. But we have to practice. It is not grow up in a single day. You need to practice every single day, every moment.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's awesome. Thank you very much for sharing, Subra. And I know it is hard, we're changing the culture, we're changing environment, and you're brave and you're good, you're awesome, and you will nail that. It's awesome. Thank you very much for sharing. Who is next? Thank you so much. Let's hear from Gareth. Oh, Tamara. Tamara after Gareth. You have, can you unmute yourself, Tamara? Oh. Yeah.
Gareth, okay, I'm here now. I just have to say, it was really funny. So I was running late, obviously. I was in the car. My son's been given his first shiner at school, and I'd had the school on the phone. My daughter's just slipped, and my mum called me. My daughter called me, my son called me, who never even really, he's like teenager and doesn't, I'm like, what is going on? And that whole idea of response, I use the Full Focus Planner by Michael Hyatt, and for quite a few times I ditched it because I was like, this is too hard. But I'm realizing that it's all about, yes, it is, it's the awareness and understanding that goes into responding to everything around me. This is big. Really good, really helpful.
Awesome. And I love that. I love your awareness, and I love how you were triggered from all directions. And I think because of that, we have triggers every day. That means more we understand, more we can focus on respond instead of react, more we are building the neural path. As I said, the brain is evolving. That means if we stop reacting, we retrain our brain to be responsive, not reactive. That means we can actually do it. And naturally, after a while, it will become such a normal thing that you are so calm and you can respond. And what is important in the business and leadership, you can take a step back. I don't know if anyone listening, Joko, and I love his leadership from basically seals, like when he's talking about it, he says the only why he was the best is because he was able to take step back and see the situation, you know, from the helicopter view. So as if we can't do it, actually, it's when we can disconnect emotionally, detach emotionally from the situation.
Yeah.
And we're going to master that. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. No, that's awesome. Gareth, sorry, I call you up. Awesome.
Oh, I guess for me, it's the aha moment has been about being more self-aware, not making assumptions, and taking the time to process, not to react but respond. I think that's been good.
Yeah, awesome, Gareth, and I love that. Exactly, don't make assumptions. It's such a small thought, right? Like, let's don't assume, let's ask questions, be curious. Awesome, beautiful. And Craig, do you want to share? I would like to call you because I didn't hear anything from you yet.
I figured you probably would. Look, to me, it's about, you know, just thinking back on just circumstances that have happened during the day, and, you know, are there things that I could have dealt with differently? Having a more measured response rather than reacting, and, you know, that's absolutely spot on.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and so important, right? In business, in leadership, at home, everywhere, and especially now when we can actually measure behaviors and emotional states of the team, and we can really measure collective thinking, and we can really find out what is going on from that thinking and emotional perspective. We can actually change behavior and results in our organization. We can change everything. So it's not only about us, but it really can have massive impact and ripple effect of teams' results. And that's awesome. Thank you very much. Thanks.
No worries.
I didn't hear. Eva, would you like to share something?
Thank you very much for the presentation, first of all. And what I take from this presentation is I know a lot of topics you covered, but for me, it's what I'm taking is not just to be supportive for the team and not to dedicate time only to the team, but I should just reverse it for myself.
Yeah. And
just put more effort to myself. So that what I'm giving is somehow getting back to me. Yeah. I don't know whether I'm
beautiful. Yeah.
I don't know whether you understand what I want to tell, but it's like my issue is to put myself on the first step, and to give myself more kind words, more support.
Got it.
And then it would be like, if I'm giving, I wouldn't be exhausted, and I can give more, and it can have huge impact.
It's beautiful.
I will go back, because I used to do it in the past, but it was like stop. I was having a timer, let's say every 2 hours, and it was like, now stop and ask yourself, how do you feel and what do you need right now? So I just have to go back to this, because then I'm like, yes, I have to do this for this one, this for that one, and I lose myself then. So I have to go back to this routine, I would say.
Self-love.
And it would be better for everyone.
At the end and that's true. It's exactly, Eva, you can't fill other people's cup from empty cup. You need to
exactly.
And we need that, and we're forgetting about that. I was the same. I was driving nuts myself in business. I was, going to burn out, and because I was doing, but I forget that I need to be who I am. I need to be with myself. I need to re-energize, and I need to think about myself first, because when I don't give enough energy to other people, and it has massive impact on your team, like you said. And it's such a great thinking that that you need to put yourself first, and you need to think about yourself, because when you're energized, you can add more value and create a great culture in your team. And I know you can, because you're amazing. That means it's really cool to see that you're going to fill your cup first. That's good.
Because I see that when my temper is loose, it's because I don't have energy. So I just have to, make it work like this, because I know the theory. Now, I just have to
just practice.
Rehearse it.
Just practice a little bit. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. Is anyone else wants to add some words? Because I will close the room, because we have 2 minutes, last 2 minutes. No? Okay, I will take it as a no. I really appreciate everyone here. I'm so happy you were here, and I really love that you share. You've been here and you share your insights, and you took away some small bits and pieces. And I love that you know that you need to come back to yourself, because that's so important, especially for you guys. I know you are all in business or leading the teams, and you're working hard, and it's time, right? It's time to become better leader, and we need to start with ourselves. And for those of you who would love to just have a chat, 30 minutes chat, please use the link is still there. I can see it. The strategy session is still there. Let's find a time, let's talk, and let's see if I can create some kind of path or some kind of step-by-step process for yourself that you can use and you can implement into your life. I'm looking forward to see you hopefully soon. I'm looking forward to talk to you again. And have a beautiful Tuesday, and I wish you a great week and a lot of success. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Tamara.
Alex.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Greg. Thanks,
Thanks.
Craig.
Enjoy
Thanks.
the